thinking, you know, there might be a better way of doing things, but they're never presented with that. And Joe's out there in his baseball cap with his big goofy grin, and there he is. There's the alternative. Not that everybody has to run around in a baseball cap with a big goofy grin, but you get what I'm saying.
No, but that's certainly does.
Yeah. I like to be noticed.
It certainly does promote a lot.
I'm glad somebody's watching. That's good. I used to have an acoustic guitar on my front all the time and play songs, and I don't do that anymore, but oh, it's a lot of fun, you know, going there and meeting friends and helping them and making a video and then going home and uploading it and noticing that people watch. It's been a great experience for me.
There's just one thing that I notice that's coming to mind with this charity, Atheists Helping the Homeless, and it's that you see these rich pastors who accuse atheists of not caring and not helping. And if you look at their, even just look at what they're wearing, nice suits, gold rings, they're looking at their house, very, very nice house. How much of their salary is going to charity? How much of what's his name? I'm not very familiar with the American pastors.
The tithing?
Yeah, but Creflo Dollar, right? He was the biggest prosperity preacher. Creflo Dollar. Creflo, yeah. I know. What
or
kind
even
of
look
name
at
is
the
that?
Vatican.
Oh, the Vatican, the Pope.
Right,
Well, that's why I brought up Mother Teresa, man. Having to go into that. Now, look, this local pantry here does a lot of good. They give out food all the time. You can get furniture and clothing and anything you need to set up a household. They put out a lot of stuff for free. I furnished practically my whole house with free stuff from that place. But Teresa was a poverty pimp. Those people in that hospice of hers are still laying on cold floors, dying of treatable illnesses. Why is that? She raised millions of dollars, and the Pope's walking around in a gold dress.
I think one of the things to focus on when it comes to Mother Teresa is just how absolutely insane her life was. For the longest time, she's going around, she's helping people, and she's just going, I feel like I'm powerless. I feel like there's nothing I can do. And the people in charge who sent her to go do these things are telling her, yes, it's good that you feel bad. It is good that you feel guilty, that you can't do things. It is good that you are suffering, and you should promote that. And that became her mantra. Like, it's a good thing that you're suffering, because that's just a test of Jesus. And I think Mother Teresa could have done a lot more good if she wasn't controlled so much by the church higher-ups who are trying to convince her that suffering isn't so bad.
Well, it was her choice.
I kind of enjoyed Christopher Hitchens' take on the whole matter. He revered her as one of the worst human beings who ever lived, which really opened my eyes to it. But anyway, now that I got the mic, I just wanted to go, I want to give a little speech here. First and foremost, I want to give a huge round of applause to Joe, who is essentially doing this, and Zulu, who's put together this blog TV. Like, unbelievable, guys. And literally none of this even matters without the people that are in the blog TV watching right now. You know what I mean? Like, without an actual audience, our words fall on deaf ears, right? So, you know, I just wanted to thank every single person in blog TV right now and every person that will, in fact, attend this event, because you guys are awesome. And most importantly, if you can, obviously not everybody can, but please donate, even if it's like, you know, $1 or 25 cents, whatever you can. It's all going to a good cause. I mean, that's why we're all doing this, right? And anyway, I just wanted to comment on something that was brought up earlier, just the whole, you know, why is it atheists helping the homeless, and why Joe wanted to highlight that. It's just, you know, I find a lot of people, like, and I live in Canada, where it's very, you know, secular. There's so many different clashes of religions and things like that, and everybody's very, very liberal on the fact. But even when I do mention that I'm an atheist, I get raised eyebrows, you know what I mean? People just naturally have a negative connotation towards atheists. So I think not only is this great for actually helping the homeless, but it's also good for raising awareness that, you know, atheists aren't people that actually worship Satan and whatnot. You know, we're good people, and this is showing it. And I couldn't think of a better thing, anything better or more productive for my time to be contributed towards right now.
You know, this is something we really wanted, not only to show by example that we can be really good moral people like anybody else, We also wanted to provide free thinkers of all types with a tool to use in arguments and debates with people who would say that we don't have the ability to be moral. And we can just say, first of all, there is a group that's proving by example that we can, in addition to all the other secular charities that do that anyway. I mean, there are some great secular charities out there that are doing great work, but that's not enough for a lot of people, a lot of theists. They want to hear the word atheists in the name of the group, or at least in the goals of the group. And so we'll provide all free thinkers now with this group as an example they can use in this debate and say, here is a group, not only are they proving by example that atheists do care, they put the word atheists in the name. It's undeniable. Now, when you go to, if it's a friend or somebody who's honest you're debating, they have to admit, okay, there's an example of how that argument was wrong, that atheists can't be moral. Here they are proving it. Now, we can also talk about the United Way and the Red Cross and other secular charities and groups that are helping without religion needing to be involved at all. But for a lot of people, that's not enough. So we wanted to provide this as an argument tool that should be an ace in your hand. You know what I mean?
There is, I think a lot of effect has been made to that regard, because in professional debates and formal debates, I stop hearing the whole thing of atheists can't be moral. The moral argument has changed thanks to atheist charities doing so many things, secular charities doing so many things. The argument has changed from atheists can't be moral to, I'm not saying atheists can't be moral. I'm just saying that, you know, they can't be consistent and be moral and not believe in a God and all that kind of stuff. So what the argument has changed from atheists can't be moral. That argument is slowly going away. It's gone away completely when it comes to formal debates, and it's gone to, I know atheists can be moral. That's not the issue. And I think so long as we just delineated that particular issue, then we can have a much more fruitful, much more productive, much less polarizing discussion between theists and atheists.
Well,
one can only hope. One can only hope. I want to say something to people who might be watching this, who really, really, really are stressed out about money and really, really thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make it till the end of the month if I make a donation. There's another way in which, or you can do it in conjunction with making a donation, that you can be supportive of this effort, and that is by promoting the hell out of Atheists Helping the Homeless. I've done it on my YouTube channel. I've done it on Facebook and other places to let people know it's out there, so that other people who are more able can make donations if possible. There's another thing I would suggest. You know, a heck of a lot of us in YouTube and Facebook and elsewhere are really frustrated by the sheeple. I think that kind of condemns people, again, like I say, that don't have a whole lot of alternatives. But if you're feeling frustrated that people are being indoctrinated by these faith-based charities and so on, then I'm not saying start necessarily an Atheist Helping the Homeless, but I'm sure Joe would be more than willing to discuss with you how you might start something like that in your own community, and it wouldn't hurt anybody if you did. And that way, you get to have the fun of doing the work, and it is fun work, and the sense of accomplishment that you've actually done something useful, but also you get to model in your own community and provide alternatives in your own community and feel like you're part of the solution and provide people an alternative so they can work their way out of whatever fundamentalist thing they've got trapped into. The end.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the idea of making a chapter. That's actually something we tried to help other people outside of Austin create chapters of Atheists Helping the Homeless, and I tried for over a year with lots of people who wanted to try this in several different states and even outside the United States. And the amazing thing to report about all the volunteers in the 2 chapters we have now is that it is not easy to start a chapter of Atheists Helping the Homeless. There is some work that has to be done, and dedication and time spent, and it's unpaid, but this is a tangible, action-oriented group. So we don't have meetings, board of directors, or minutes, or Robert's Rules of Order, things like that. We're just down to action, and so that does require some tangible time and volunteer work. And everybody else who tried to start a chapter outside of Austin did not make it happen. And for one reason or another, it's really tough. In some cities, it's more difficult than others. And we found out with this new chapter that is successful that there are some laws that are different from city to city in the same state. So all these things have to be considerations that if somebody does want to get involved in starting a chapter, I'd love to hear from you, but please keep in mind, it's not easy, it's tough, it's a lot of work and a lot of time, and we don't want to do it for just 1 or 2 giveaways either. We want to start groups that will last
Exactly.
into the future.
If you're gonna do some sort of volunteer program, don't do it if you think, oh, I'm just gonna volunteer a couple hours a week of my time and anything like that. No, this is something that you do. This is a life that you live of helping people. That's what it ends up being. No charity wants people to come in and work that aren't going to reserve a substantial amount of time to helping out the charity. Because if you're not going to donate a substantial amount of time, then it's not going to help a whole lot. So if you really want to help, if you really do want to create a chapter, make sure that you are in a position where you can donate a lot of your time to it, at least a few hours each day.
And some money, too. That's the funny thing. When I started this, with the first giveaway, I saved up for about a month. And with some other friends, too, we helped out, the other co-founders. It wasn't just me, but definitely there was a lot of our own personal money that's gone into this. In fact, we have some volunteers who will come to the giveaway with items they bought themselves with their own money and don't ever look to be compensated for it. And so we're very appreciative of that. But that's one way people can help. Also, I wanted to say, if people didn't want to send money online, they could send it to me through the mail. And also, we have taken donations of packages of items that have already been bought. So if somebody wanted to just go to the store and buy a whole bunch of toothpaste or toothbrushes or whatever, put them into a box and ship them off to us through the mail, those people might be able to spend less on state sales tax in their states. Here in Texas, we spend 8.25%, I believe, state sales tax on all non-food items that we buy for the homeless because we're not tax exempt. That's another thing I need to mention, is that donations to Atheists Helping the Homeless are not tax deductible because we are not registered with the IRS. We're a non-profit that is not tax exempt. We pay state sales tax, like I said, and other people who donate items from other states might have a lower state sales tax and can just spend the money on that and then a little bit on postage, and it saves me a trip to the store, and it saves me some paperwork. And also, if somebody has a line on something that's really cheap, cheaper than you can get it at Walmart even, then they might be able to send us more of that and save more. I know some people who work in hotels and coffee shops and other places where they can get hold of supplies in large amounts at a discount because they know the boss or whatever. We've had a lot of help through the mail like that, a care package. But I also wanted to clear up a question somebody asked. The PayPal donations go to the Dallas-Fort Worth group that just started, and the GoFundMe donations go to the Austin group. Just to clarify that. Thank you.
Real quick, I know on your website you have like a whole page devoted to how much money each item that you get is. What are the items that you spend the money on? Could you just run through that real quick?
Yes, and that's actually needing to be updated, but those are roughly the average prices that we get at the store, and we go to either Walmart or HEB, which is kind of a local store here, but they have roughly the same prices and selection. But there's a list that's just suggestions. It just gives people a general idea of what each item costs on average, so that when you make a donation, you can kind of figure out, how many toothpaste you can get with this, or how many of whatever we can possibly buy. And usually donors don't necessarily specify what we should buy, but you can if you want. If you'll send me a note, an email, and tell me exactly what you'd like me to buy with the money you've sent, I'll make sure of that. In fact, I'll talk about it in the video when we do a giveaway. Some of these giveaways, I'll hold up items that are new to the table, and some people, I want to brag for a moment, we have a volunteer who is a dentist, and so he had a line on a whole lot of free toothbrushes. But not only that, check this out. He got them all engraved with the name of our group, Atheists Helping the Homeless, right on the toothbrush, each and every one of them, and he got a couple of hundred of them. So now there are a couple of hundred homeless people running around in Austin who have this advertisement that's a toothbrush. It's not going to be thrown away in an hour or in a day like a cup or a plate. It's going to be with them, and you could potentially keep a toothbrush in good shape for years. So I think that's one great idea to spread the word, and again, not to preach. That doesn't involve preaching. This just lets people know that there is a group like us doing this sort of thing, and whoever says we can't be good people because we're godless has this tangible piece of evidence to show otherwise.